Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 6. Tonight, the family of a man who died while waiting for care in an Edmonton hospital, unhappy with the province's response.
Really, there's no real solution to address the healthcare chaos.
Cashing in, local companies clearing a path as city plows struggle to work around parked cars.
I feel like a neighborhood hero here. With all the smiles and treats I've been getting, I'm happy to do it.
And cutting out the cold. How the warm weather is affecting Edmonton's winter festivals.
I've been making jokes about trying to do a winter activity without a winter.
Calmer conditions on the way for tomorrow, cooler temperatures as well, and then one more really warm day on Saturday.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Alberta's Minister of Hospitals says he has started a judicial inquiry into how a man died while waiting for care in an Edmonton emergency room. Provincial officials took questions about the incident for the first time today. As CTV's Connor Hogg reports, the province insists its approach to care is proactive instead of reactive.
To Mr. Srikumar's family and friends, you have our condolences and our commitment to a thorough, independent and transparent review of the circumstances surrounding his death.
Hospitals Minister Matt Jones is speaking publicly for the first time following the death of Prashanth Srikumar in late December. Jones says a number of measures are coming in the short term to deal with emergency room capacity issues. That includes a new triage liaison ER position and bed towers. The province is also planning to release a dashboard with hospital metrics.
The system requires a long-term capital plan so that these decisions are not reactionary, they are not political, and they are on time.
Srikumar died from apparent cardiac arrest after waiting nearly 8 hours for care at the Grey Nuns Hospital.
I am not in a position to explain to the public exactly why this happened. There's a number of contributing factors, no doubt, but that is the job of the fatality inquiry.
He knows something went wrong with the Prashanth tragedy, and he doesn't want to tell us what is it.
Srikumar's family says they're bothered by the government's response to his death and the lack of clarity on exactly what went wrong that day.
I hope Prashanth is the last one to die, but I after listening to today's press conference, I doubt if he's the last one.
Carla Peck's father spent 4 days waiting for care in a makeshift waiting room in an ambulance bay after he was brought to the U of A hospital with the flu in early January.
He was basically laying in a stretcher bed, not even a real hospital bed, but a stretcher bed for 90 plus hours. It was horrendous. It was extremely worrying.
Stories of stretched ERs have prompted some doctors to call on the province to declare a state of emergency. Jones says it would have been unnecessary.
We have all tools and authority necessary to manage the system.
One of those doctors says the promised changes won't fix the wait time crunch.
They have finally decided to put a doctor at the triage desk just so people don't die in the waiting room again. That's an admission the system is in absolute crisis mode.
The province says it's working to get its new measures active in hospitals as soon as possible, with the triage liaison position starting at some hospitals, including the Grey Nuns and the U of A, February 1st. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
People who visited the Royal Alexandra Hospital Friday are being warned about a measles exposure in areas open to the public. Primary Care Alberta says the infectious person visited the cafeteria and the main foyer Friday morning. The exposure period was between 7:15 a.m. and 10 a.m. Anyone not fully vaccinated is asked to monitor for symptoms. New data released today shows Alberta had 2,041 cases since outbreaks began last March. 15 cases are considered active. Doctors say the virus is still circulating.
There are enough people in the province who are not immune to measles that we can still see low-level transmission. What we're watching for and what we're a little bit worried about is we reintroduce measles into an under-vaccinated community, and we know there are a number of pockets in Alberta that are significantly under-vaccinated. We could see, once again, larger numbers of measles cases.
The province says more than 162,000 measles vaccines were given since the outbreak started. That's 40% more than the same time period last year. Hundreds of academic staff at NAIT could soon hit the picket line. The NAIT Academic Staff Association says of the 83% of eligible members who cast a ballot, 83% were in favor of a strike mandate. It says staff are concerned about the employer's current positions, including proposed concessions to benefits and a growing frustration with the lack of movement in negotiations. The association represents more than 1,000 academic staff at NAIT. It says the results are unofficial, pending verification by the Alberta Labour Relations Board. RCMP say a 5-year-old girl is dead after a crash involving a stolen truck near Cold Lake.
Upon arrival, emergency responders treated the injured occupants of a minivan. A 5-year-old girl in the van was, very unfortunately, deceased. The other occupants of the van, a 10-year-old boy, their 27-year-old mother, and a 30-year-old male, were taken to the hospital with various injuries.
Police say a pickup truck was stolen 3 days earlier in Saskatchewan from someone who had offered to help the suspect. Officers found the truck about an hour after the crash. A 34-year-old man from Bonnyville was arrested yesterday. He's facing a number of charges, including failing to stop at the scene of a crash causing death. RCMP called the man a prolific offender and say he was on bail for breaching a probation order. A man is in hospital tonight with serious injuries after getting hit by a truck this afternoon in Edmonton. Police say the 23-year-old man was walking in the Garneau neighborhood around 2 p.m. when he was hit by a truck driven by a 38-year-old man. This happened in the intersection of 112th Street and 86th Avenue. The driver remained at the scene. No charges have been laid. Court heard today a U-Haul was going more than 100 kilometers an hour when it hit and killed a woman. Peter Ashby is accused of driving the U-Haul involved in the deadly hit and run while being chased by police. A collision reconstructionist was among the witnesses called at Ashby's trial today. The officer spoke about data retrieved from the U-Haul. The court heard when the U-Haul hit the woman, its speed was 105 kilometers an hour. The brakes were engaged less than 2 seconds before the head-on crash. The U-Haul's speed was 81 kilometers an hour at the time of impact. The officer also described panic steering in the 5 seconds leading up to the crash. During cross-examination, the defense focused questions on what impact flat or low tires from a spike belt would have on the driver's behavior and ability to control the vehicle. Alberta's Serious Incident Response Team says a deadly police shooting 2 years ago was justified. In August of 2024, the Edmonton Police Service and the Internet Child Exploitation Unit went to search a home in South Edmonton. ACERT's report says the officers showed up at the door with a warrant. They told the man who answered he was under arrest for having and accessing child pornography. The report says during their interaction, the man swung a knife at the officers. One of the officers was stabbed. Police then shot and killed the man. Investigators say the use of force was proportionate in this case. An e-bike battery is being blamed for an apartment fire that injured one person last night. This video from a viewer shows flames and thick smoke pouring out of a suite in a building on 115th Street and 100th Avenue. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services says trucks arrived just before 6 last night. One witness says she saw 2 different people jump from the 6th floor.
I saw one person climb out of the balcony onto the lower one below it. To get out. That seemed to be successful, and then someone else, I don't know if they were trying to do the same thing and fell, but they fell from that floor and then landed on the roof that covers the driveway.
Edmonton Fire says an e-bike battery caused the fire, and the cost of the damage is estimated to be $500,000. Strathcona County RCMP have seized more than $250,000 worth of drugs. Strathcona County and St. Albert RCMP drug units worked together to search 2 homes at the end of October. One house was in Sherwood Park, the other was in southwest Edmonton. Officers found $235,000 worth of cocaine, meth, MDMA, and ketamine. Nearly $70,000 in cash was also seized between the 2 searches. 3 people have been charged.
This is fantastic for us as a detachment. Again, profiles the excellent work that our GIS units do. And it also, we're proud in the fact that this helps harm reduction within the community and takes this off the streets.
RCMP say drug busts of this size are rare in Sherwood Park. The last one was more than a year ago. With some record high temperatures this week, the unprecedented snow that fell in December is melting away. And that's creating less than ideal conditions for some winter activities. One exhibition is trying to keep things cool down in Ice District. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti joins us from there this evening. So, Miriam, how is the weather impacting the event Chiseled?
Well, Matt, it may not look like winter here, but it is starting to feel like it with these ice sculptures starting to get underway, creating some magic. And as many Edmontonians know, it has been quite warm this week, causing the snow to melt. But these sculptures are standing strong so far. These 300-pound blocks of ice are more resilient against the warm temperatures than you think.
Each one of the sculptures that we're building down here is 15 blocks, and so they have a bit of thermal mass to help them stay cold.
10 carvers from across Canada are in Ice District for the Chiseled exhibition. Soon, these blocks will be transformed into ice sculptures.
One thing we do have to be concerned about, though, is freezing the blocks together, because that does require the temperature to go below zero.
The warmth is creating a bit of a splash throughout parts of the city, causing water to pool up. EPCOR says it's important for Edmontonians to help by breaking up any ice near stormwater drains.
We'll start to get some complaints from manholes or catch basins or even water valves that may have been impacted as they work through the tight constraints of the neighborhood.
Since January 9th, EPCOR has responded to 33 calls related to flooding or pooling water. If you plan on taking a walk, it's important to avoid stormwater ponds. As water comes into and out of the facilities, there are a number of different ways that ice can be unsafe. So again, EPCOR recommends people keep a wide path away. Ice is also unsafe by the river valley. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services says the ice on the river can be deceiving.
It's not a safe place for walking. The moving water below the ice shelf itself actually creates variable thickness and ice quality in the ice cover itself. And so that means at any point, even though it seems safe at one point, it can be very unsafe at the next point.
Now, if you are looking to enjoy some ice, this is the place to do it. There's plenty of things to look at and see these ice sculptors hard at work over the weekend, and these finished designs will be here until Mother Nature says otherwise. So definitely keep out for that weather. Matt?
All right, Miriam Valdez-Carletti live in Ice District tonight. Thank you. Certainly living up to its name, Josh. It was still warm out there today, above zero. Not the record-breaking heat we've seen this week, but it felt cooler out there with that strong wind blowing.
Yeah, you had gusts early in the day today to about 65 kilometers per hour here in the city. Outlying areas around the city saw gusts to around 80. Parts of eastern Alberta, gusts around 100 kilometers per hour earlier today, and that has led to widespread power outages across the province. The city of Edmonton doesn't look like Edmonton and surrounding areas affected by that, but there are still a number of spots in east central and northern Alberta without power at this hour. 7 degrees in Edmonton for a daytime high, although that came in just after midnight. For most of the day today, temperatures were kind of hovering between 3 to 1 degrees above zero. We're right now at -1 in downtown Edmonton, and you can see the gusts have backed off to about 30 kilometers per hour in the city. Outside the city, still a little gustier. They're especially off to the northwest, gusts to about 60 kilometers per hour right now. There's your wind warning. The areas just north of Edmonton that were included in that, Westlock Barhead, they've now had that wind warning ended. I think the strongest wind will gradually break down from west to east, but even through the overnight period, if you're close to the Saskatchewan border, you're looking at gusts to around 60 kilometers per hour right through to about midnight. Here in Edmonton, I think once we get past about 9, 10 o'clock tonight, the gusts should significantly die down. Pretty clear skies across most of the province. A little bit of cloud cover there in northwestern Alberta. And we may see a few clouds roll through the Edmonton area, but nothing significant for cloud cover overnight tonight or tomorrow. -9 tomorrow morning. And look at that. After a gusty early evening, calmer overnight and light wind tomorrow with temperatures around -1 or -2 for a daytime high. Another big warm-up Saturday. We'll focus on that in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. Coming up next on CTV News, steer clear.
I think now it's time to take the next step of enforcement because it just frustrates everyone.
Snowplows trying to work around cars left behind despite a parking ban. Also just ahead, a look inside a new rec center that will soon open in Edmonton.
Friday on Your Morning Edmonton. It has been a tricky traffic week. We help you get where you need to go safely and get you ready for a warm weather weekend. We'll see you at 6.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
City crews are still grappling with vehicles parked on neighborhood roads they're trying to clear. While that could lead to a fine, there don't appear to be many tickets on windshields. Meanwhile, local entrepreneurs are making the most of what the snow crews are leaving behind. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
Bobcats tidy up windrows left behind by the city's big graders. Vehicles on the street make the whole process more challenging. Violating the parking ban should come with a $250 ticket, but a small sampling of snowed-in cars found only empty windshields.
There's really no excuse. We've been exercising a lot of grace over the last number of years. I think now it's time to take the next step of enforcement because it just frustrates everyone.
It appears plows had to skip a small section of this street in Brentnell, leaving the deep ruts in place. A couple of cars appear to have tickets, but a closer look reveals they're just notes from a neighbor. The city says by the end of December, it had issued 245 tickets. Data shows winter ticket volumes have varied since the city introduced seasonal parking bans. These figures include fines issued during both Phase 1 and 2 bans. In late 2022, Council cut enforcement funding from $1.2 million to less than $300,000. A report councillors will discuss next week says this resulted in a reduction of enforcement staff from 15 officers and 2 clerks to 5 officers and 1 clerk.
When we go through this upcoming 4-year budget deliberations and talk about how we're going to reprioritize and invest in things like snow removal, I think that needs to come with better investment in the enforcement side.
That new snow and ice budget could also include neighborhood windrow removal.
Nice big bucket.
For now, people like Stephen Robinson are doing that work.
Honestly, it's the daily grind. That's what it is, right? Trying to make $1 every day, man. Yeah. Got to.
Depending on the job, he charges $50 to $150 to clear away snow. He says what begins as one job often expands as neighbors see him in action.
I feel like a neighborhood hero here. With all the smiles and treats I've been getting, I'm happy to do it.
Neighborhood snow clearing is scheduled to wrap up at the end of next week. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton's housing market is expected to be evenly favored between buyers and sellers this year. The Realtors Association of Edmonton says our housing market will remain affordable compared to other big Canadian cities. It says detached homes will be the backbone of sales with an average price of a little more than $575,000. The association attributes its forecast for a balanced market to Edmonton's affordability, steady population growth, and expanding housing supply.
Like even last year, we saw the inventory went up, number of sales went down, but our prices still held and even went up a little bit. So we're predicting the same. The population growth does impact the demand. So we're expecting less demand, but we still are predicting prices to continue to rise slightly.
Edmonton's hottest areas continue to be neighborhoods in South Edmonton close to the Anthony Henday. We're getting a better look tonight at the new rec center set to open later this month in north central Edmonton.
Is what we're calling our infield courts. This is our gymnasiums and other facilities.
Sports and Rec Center near the TELUS World of Science is scheduled to open January 27th. It includes an indoor running track, courts, a bouldering wall, studios, play space, and more. Attached is the Peter Hemingway Aquatic Center, which has been closed for more than 5 years for renovations. It will reopen at the same time. The indoor velodrome portion of the rec center opened back in October. The facility cost taxpayers $153 million. Still to come tonight, moving to Moulin Rouge.
So it sounds like all the single ladies.
Why the dance captain from a popular musical is visiting students in Edmonton. Also just ahead.
For me, I'll just be trying to play my game, but definitely try to enjoy it too.
Nuge's night, why Oilers forward Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has friends and family visiting for a pair of games this weekend.
Wind dies down tonight. We'll get a cooler day tomorrow, and then one last really warm day Saturday. Those details after the break.
Let's talk
talk about the wind and what creates the wind. Sometimes a change in temperature can create the wind, but most of the wind that we get is from a change in, do you remember what we said? A change in what? Yes, pressure. That's right, the atmospheric pressure. And so it often seems like we get our windiest days when the weather is changing, and that's because that's kind of what's happening, right? If you have a really strong low pressure system moving towards you, all of a sudden the pressure is dropping really quickly. And then when it moves away, all of a sudden the pressure is rising really quickly. And it's that change in pressure, right? Here's your big, strong, high pressure system, really small, low pressure system. It's that change in pressure that'll give you a steeper hill for the wind to blow down in some of your gustiest days. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so a change in pressure, a really rapid change in pressure is what's going to give you your strongest wind gusts, right?
Right.
These are the grade 5s from
Monsignor Peterson.
Smart Kids, miniature meteorologists, and you are
CTV Weather Watchers.
Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
The award-winning musical Moulin Rouge is playing the Jubilee Theatre this week, and one of the performers spent the day at a local high school giving aspiring Broadway dancers a few tips.
Now put your hands up, yeah? So it sounds like all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all...
These are the theater students at Strathcona High School. They were learning choreography from Moulin Rouge's dance captain, Katie Lombardo. They also got to ask questions about the industry. Lombardo says giving back to the community is an integral part of the tour.
Someone like me would have came, I would have been going crazy to like have that. So it's cool to kind of be that person now. And I just love sharing the advice with them that people shared with me or things I've learned throughout the year. So it's just really special to share.
I learn a lot because it's like always like in a completely different style from our show. So I get to learn lots of new steps and moves in a different like genre of dance.
Moulin Rouge, the musical, wraps up at the Jubilee Theatre on Sunday. Josh, I'm sure people who are sick of all that snow and ice buildup out there are singing your praises this week. We had a few days of record-setting heat, and it's really starting to melt away.
Nobody is happy today, though, because of the gusty wind. It was howling, really, for most of the day today. Started overnight last night, continued through the day. Still a little gusty out there right now, but I think the strongest gusts are now behind us, at least here in Edmonton. There's the shot from the River Valley Sky Camps, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed rider, it's free. It's -1 in Edmonton right now as temperatures have been slowly sliding through the day. It was still +3 at 1 o'clock this afternoon. -11 in Fort McMurray, -2 in Grand Prairie, -1 in Red Deer. This is obviously a far cry from where we were 24 hours ago. Look at this. Fort McMurray is almost 20 degrees colder. This is your 24-hour temperature change. So 6 p.m. yesterday to 6 p.m. today. Almost 20 degrees colder there. We're about 6 degrees colder than 6 p.m. yesterday here in Edmonton. Your maximum wind gusts today, close to 65 downtown, outside the city, as we said, had gusts closer to 80. That's what Slave Lake and Red Deer were dealing with earlier in the day today. Look at this, close to 100 in Lloydminster and over 100 kilometers per hour in Cold Lake. As we mentioned earlier in the newscast, that led to widespread power outages. Sounds like some of them are now starting to come back online. Still a few thousand people, though, it sounds like, in parts of northern and east central Alberta without power at this hour. Wind right now, 50 gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. Same goes for Coronation. Here in Edmonton, 20 gusting to 30. I think that's kind of what we're looking at right through to about 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And then after that, the wind should die down. It stays light all day tomorrow. Still a little gusty here in east central Alberta tomorrow morning. Even through the afternoon hours tomorrow, you're still looking at 20 gusting to 30. Finally, by supper time, starts to back off. Outside of that, the rest of the province gets a calm day tomorrow. So wind warning in effect for east central and southeastern Alberta. This will probably stay in place for areas right close to the Saskatchewan border right through the overnight period tonight, and then early tomorrow morning should finally be ended. Bit of cloud cover in northwestern Alberta. I don't think we'll see too much of that cloud here in Edmonton, but we'll see if partly cloudy skies for tomorrow morning and early in the afternoon. The big story is this Arctic high that's dropping in with some colder air, mainly for east central and northeastern Alberta. You see daytime highs tomorrow close to -20 in Fort McMurray in the minus 15 range for east central Alberta. Here in Edmonton, I think we'll be around -1 or -2. And then watch what happens Saturday. South of this low, some warm air gets sucked back in from the west. And so we're right back to 6 or 7 degrees above zero on Saturday. It's a one-off, though. Another Arctic high brings a return of some cooler air for Sunday. So you go -1, -2 tomorrow, 6 on Saturday, Sunday -5. Still not bad early next week, but look at this drop into next week. By the end of next week, -15 to -20 range for daytime highs. Tomorrow morning, about -9 to start the day, -2 and light wind tomorrow afternoon. And the record high for Saturday is 9. I think that's probably safe, but we will be a handful of degrees above zero.
Josh, thank you. The Edmonton Oilers get to spend more time at home over the next 3 weeks. The Oilers play 9 of their next 10 games at Rogers Place, beginning tonight with the visiting New York Islanders. It's an exciting stretch for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Sunday will be his 1,000th career NHL game. Every single one of them played in an Oilers uniform. Only Kevin Lowe is suited up for the Oilers in more games with 1,037. Nuge says he has friends and family coming to watch both games this weekend.
It's hard to kind of fathom it sometimes, but yeah, I think for my family and friends, it's exciting time. So for me, I'll just be trying to play my game, but definitely try to enjoy it too.
I'm excited about it, really. It's a long year with a lot of similar days, and Sunday will be an exciting day for our organization and for Nuge and his family.
Connor McDavid, by the way, can extend his career-high point streak tonight to 21 games. He currently has 46 points in his last 20 games. The Islanders have not won a game in Edmonton since 2017. The Edmonton Stingers are gearing up for a new Canadian Elite Basketball League season. The Stingers will play 24 regular season games, beginning with a home game on May 9th against the Winnipeg Sea Bears. Last year, the Stingers made it to the playoffs. They were eliminated, though, in the Western semifinal by the Calgary Surge. The two rivals will face off in Edmonton on July 1st in the 3rd annual Canada Day Classic. The regular season schedule features 12 home games at the Edmonton Expo Center. When we return, restarting their relationship.
It's a partnership with new focus and greater depth and a sense of purpose.
What Mark Carney has been able to accomplish so far during his trip to China. Plus, the latest from Iran, where a Canadian has died in the hands of the country's repressive regime. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Global Affairs says it's aware of the death of a Canadian in Iran amid nationwide protests against the country's regime. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the latest.
As anti-government protests blanketed Iran in recent weeks, we're learning a Canadian has died in the hands of Iranian authorities. In a post on social media, the Foreign Affairs Minister said, "Our consular officials are in contact with the victim's family in Canada, and my deepest condolences are with them at this time." While supporting the peaceful protests, Anita Anand said Canada condemns and calls for an immediate end to the Iranian regime's violence. According to some estimates, at least 2,500 people have been killed since the Iranian regime began cracking down on protesters. The White House says 800 executions were scheduled for today, but President Trump has been given assurances they will not happen.
The president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences.
Perhaps a glimpse of some of those consequences, the U.S. Treasury Secretary announced sanctions against key members of the Iranian government.
Iran's leaders have brutally responded to peaceful demonstrations with violence, from mass shootings in the street to attacks on wounded victims in hospitals.
In an apparent appeal to the Trump administration, a video message from the exiled Crown Prince of Iran laid out his aspirations for the country if the current regime is toppled.
A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism.
Now, that can only happen if the Islamic Republic is ousted. Meanwhile, with the recent crackdown on protesters, Canadians are being urged by Global Affairs Canada to leave Iran now. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Tensions are high in Minneapolis after another shooting involving an immigration officer.
Oh my God.
There were clashes following the shooting. The Department of Homeland Security says a federal agent shot a man in the leg after a car chase involving an immigrant who was in the country illegally. The chase ended with a crash. Agents say 2 other men plus the driver attacked them with a snow shovel. The man who was shot was taken to hospital. A new era in relations between Canada and China was marked today as the two nations signed trade and economic cooperation agreements. Despite the steps forward, the current tariffs remain unchanged. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver reports.
A grand ceremony full of pageantry in China's House of Political Power, marking the restart of a Canada-China relationship that has been largely non-existent for years.
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order. It's a partnership with new focus and greater depth and a sense of purpose.
Prime Minister Mark Carney receiving a warm welcome from various Chinese leaders Thursday, who said bilateral relations have hit a turning point.
China is prepared to work with Canada to follow through on the important consensus between our leaders and move forward our strategic partnership on a trajectory of healthy, steady, and sustainable development.
Agreements signed today pledge greater dialogue in areas including forestry, tourism, culture, and food safety. On energy, the pact recognizes Canada as an important potential partner in oil and gas.
What we heard loud and clear is China is looking for reliable trading partners that don't use energy for coercion.
So far, there has been no agreement publicly about tariffs, but Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, who has been outspoken about the need to remove canola tariffs, was invited to sit in on a meeting with Premier Li. Tomorrow, Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with Xi Jinping. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Beijing, China.
Canada's skeleton team has been cleared of any wrongdoing after it suddenly withdrew 4 athletes from an event. American skeleton athlete Katie Olander complained the Canadian decision robbed her of a chance to qualify for her 6th Olympic Games. The withdrawal of competition reduced the amount of points handed out. The International Bobsleigh and Skeleton Federation found no rules were broken. U.S. federal prosecutors have charged 20 people, including former college basketball players, in an alleged scheme to fix games.
We allege an extensive international criminal conspiracy of NCAA players, alumni, and professional bettors who fixed games across the country and poisoned the American spirit of competition for monetary gain.
According to the indictment, players from more than 17 different NCAA teams, quote, fixed and attempted to fix more than 29 games from September of 2022 to February of last year. The charges include wire fraud, bribery, and conspiracy. The indictment follows an NCAA investigation that led to at least 10 players receiving lifetime bans. A 4-person crew of astronauts is back on Earth after their mission to the International Space Station was cut short because of a medical condition. The crew splashed down in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego this morning, capping off a 10-hour descent from the space station. The plan to bring the crew home weeks ahead of schedule was announced on January 8th, marking the first time NASA had to cut a mission short because of a medical emergency.
They're all going to the hospital as we had determined days ago as the proper thing to do under the circumstances. But as I mentioned, the crew member in question specifically is doing fine.
Officials haven't said which of the 4 astronauts suffered the medical issue. 4 hikers have been rescued after spending 3 nights on top of a Vancouver area mountain during blizzard-like conditions. Rescue crews say the group climbed one of the peaks on Saturday in Golden Ears Provincial Park. At the time, the weather was clear. They were caught in a sudden storm, though, on their way down. They managed to find an emergency shelter on Panorama Ridge. Despite spotty cell service in the area, they were able to call for help using Apple SOS. Attempts to rescue the group failed Sunday and Monday as conditions worsened. A break in the weather Tuesday allowed a helicopter to land and fly them out safely. Coming up next on CTV News, studying scams.
This is something that's happening pretty widespread.
New stats show the majority of Canadians have been targeted by online fraud. A look at who's most at risk, also just ahead. Why Canada's Privacy Commissioner is expanding an investigation into Elon Musk's online chatbot known as Grok. Here's a look at the markets for this Thursday evening. The Canadian dollar is down, trading for 71 cents against the American dollar. Oil lost $2.80, closing at $59.08 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost $12. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended the day higher. The TSX was up 112 points. The Dow was up 292. Montana lawmakers are taking issue with Alberta over electricity trade practices they think are unfair.
Alberta is prioritizing their own resources in Alberta, and then external resources such as from Montana or other areas within Canada have a different standard. And this is whatever Canada does within Canada is fine, but what they're doing with Montana is against the U.S. trade agreement, and that's the issue.
Alberta says its rules treat Montana the same as its Canadian neighbors. Alberta's power grid isn't fully integrated with its neighboring provinces and Montana. Montana lawmakers believe a more integrated system would be better for people on both sides of the border. The Alberta Electric System Operator says it's working towards greater integration. And Alberta City has been named the 4th best North American location for filmmakers to live and work. Calgary's ranking moved up 1 spot from 5th place last year. The city earned high marks from Movie Maker for tax credits, experienced crews, lifestyle, and access to the Rocky Mountains. Toronto took the top spot on the list. Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Chicago round out the top 3. Canada's Privacy Commissioner is expanding his investigation into X after global backlash over the platform's chatbot Grok. It's being used to generate explicit images of real people without their consent. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks into AI privacy concerns and what the investigation means for Canadians.
The Privacy Commissioner is looking into whether billionaire Elon Musk's site X and xAI, the artificial intelligence company responsible for the platform's Grok chatbot, are violating federal law. Canada's top privacy watchdog is expanding an ongoing investigation into X and the social media site's use of Canadians' personal information to train AI models. In light of growing global concern over the platform's AI chatbot Grok being prompted by users to produce non-consensual, explicit, or sexualized images of real people. The commissioner said he decided to expand his investigation to address this issue, given its importance and the potential serious harms that it may cause to Canadians.
Privacy legislation as it is currently on the books will not protect you if someone grabs your imagery online, runs it through an image generator like Grok, sexualizes it, and then shares it with their followers.
Elon Musk companies were informed about the widening probe into whether X and xAI obtained consent to use Canadians' data to create deepfakes yesterday. The same day, xAI announced it would limit Grok's ability to generate explicit images. The federal minister of AI says while Canada isn't considering banning X, there's a government bill before Parliament proposing to amend the criminal code to crack down on deepfakes. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Most Canadians say they've been targeted by digital scams. New data from the Angus Reid Institute shows more than 4 in 5 Canadians say they've been contacted by scammers online or over the phone. About 30% of those people admit they did lose money or information. Only 5 to 10% of those cases are reported to authorities. Canadians who are 60 and older are nearly twice as likely as Canadians between the ages of 18 to 29 to report falling for a scam.
This is something that's happening pretty widespread. And it's not just you that's getting those phone calls and those text messages and those emails of people trying to attempt to take your money and or potentially your personal information. That there are a lot of Canadians who have experienced this in the last couple of years.
If you have been targeted, you should report it to police, your bank, and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. The online survey of more than 2,000 Canadians was conducted from November 5th to 7th. The margin of error is plus or minus 2 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. When we return, playing the long game.
Now I get to go back as the veteran and hopefully pass the torch a little bit and lead some of the younger guys.
Canada reveals its long track team for next month's Winter Olympics in Italy.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Canada's long track speed skating team for the Winter Olympics was revealed today. Canada heads into the event with a mix of veterans and youngsters. CTV's Glenn Campbell has more.
Once again, Canada will send a strong group of long-track speed skaters to the Olympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina. Leading the way is Isabelle Weideman, who won gold, silver, and bronze at the 2022 Games. Weideman's now one of the leaders on the team.
I went in 2018 and I was a rookie, and then in 2022 and I was kind of poised to win a bunch of medals, and now I get to go back as the veteran and hopefully pass the torch a little bit and lead some of the younger guys.
Calgarian Anders Johnson is going to the Olympic Winter Games for the first time. The 28-year-old qualified at the Olympic trials in his last race on January 3rd.
It's one race, right? And you get that one race every 4 years to qualify for the Olympics. So, the pressure's off now. I'm just so excited, and what an honor and a privilege to go out and to represent Canada at the Olympics.
For 39-year-old Ted-Jan Blauman, who has won gold and bronze at the Olympics, this will be his third and last time at the Games. And this one is going to be special because his kids will be with him.
Maybe you've already seen my kids around, but they're going to be in Milan too, and they're 6 and 3 years old. They're at an age now that they can, really experience it. I don't know how many memories you make at 3 years old, but I hope he can remember it for the rest of his life.
For veterans like Weideman and Blauman, the goal is to bring home some more hardware.
Gold. I want to win. That's always the goal. And I'm going to give it everything I have.
Had a lot of success on the World Cup circuit this year, and so I'm really curious to see kind of how that's going to go at the Games. And it's the same competitors, the same event, so yeah, I'm excited and hoping to push the podium.
-9 tomorrow morning, and it looks like overnight tonight the wind should die down. Calm day on the way for tomorrow with a high of about -1 or -2. We're back a handful of degrees above zero on Saturday. Record daytime high for Saturday is 9, which I think is safe. Maybe we get to 7 degrees for a high on Saturday. That'll be the last really warm day for a while, though. -5 Sunday. We'll level off around the freezing mark Monday, Tuesday. Chances of flurries there late Monday, and then temperatures really start to tumble towards the end of next week. Chances of some more snow Wednesday into Thursday of next week. And daytime highs in the -15 to -20 range for Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week. Mornings will be back into the mid-20s. Been a good run. Last little while. You knew we weren't done with cold temperatures.
No, just when I thought winter was all over with.
It's been a nice little break, a little reprieve, but cold's coming back next week.
Glad to see the wind lighter tomorrow, too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Josh, thanks very much. That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.